Welcome to Playwrights Roundtable. I'm Erica Cotton. You're joining me here at the Roundtable where we review one-act plays produced by Central Florida playwrights for the organization Playwrights Roundtable. Today I have with me Mark Cosgrove, who wrote Rebuilding the Pyramid, a very humorous one-act play which we're going to watch first, and then I'm going to sit back and chat with you about this play. Looking forward to it. It's very funny. Sit back and relax and enjoy Rebuilding the Pyramid.
Smile.
How can I?
I'm going to keep taking pictures until you smile.
You took a picture of me in front of the big hole that's supposed to be our front yard. You take a picture of me on the side of the house by the big hole that's supposed to be our sunroom. Then you take a picture of me by the grand curved staircase that isn't even there yet. Enough is enough.
Just one more by the window. If you turn a little, we'll get better light.
You know, this is why Ansel Adams only did landscapes.
That's the closest I've come to a smile from you yet.
I just don't understand how a country home that needed some fixing up could turn into a project with a budget the size of a small African nation.
Does it really matter how much it costs?
Yes, it does.
But we're doing this for you. The doctor said you needed to get away from the stress at work, that it was killing you. I thought a country home could be a great place for you to get a little rest. You could get some peace and quiet.
Peace and quiet? I had more peace and quiet in the commodity pits. Guys, can you knock it off for 5 minutes?
Hey guys, the jerk wants us to knock off for 5 minutes.
What did you say?
Well, I said we're gonna knock off for 5 minutes.
I don't think those guys like me very much.
Of course they like you. You pay them every Friday.
But have you noticed how many times I've left this house and some tool or lunch pail mysteriously slides off the roof and almost hits me? It's always followed by, sorry, my bad, and then they all laugh.
You're just imagining things. But this is a construction site after all.
The never-ending construction site.
Well, these things take time.
Not this much time. I'm not some idiot homeowner with a clipping file from Shelter magazines. I'm a partner in a Wall Street firm. And I know how people get screwed because I do it every day. But this is being done at a high level. The only thing that can make this scheme sleazier is if somehow they could do the remodeling offshore like in the Caymans.
Now you're talking crazy. There's no scheme here, Ben. It's a simple remodeling job.
How can it be a simple remodeling job with a budget this size and a film crew on site every day?
But that's what makes it fun. How many people do you know can say that the remodeling of their home is being filmed for Derek Long's Indoor World show? Everyone we know is going to see it. And besides, Derek thinks that Architectural Digest is interested in doing a photo shoot.
Oh, Jesus, that's all we need is another film crew around here.
And what would be so wrong with that? Of course, I will have to buy a few new outfits.
You know, I don't think Derek's film crew likes me very much either. I mean, have you noticed how many times they said, okay, yeah, that's great, but this time let's get another shot without Ben in it? I'm beginning to develop a complex.
Well, it would help if you stopped using the F word. It's not like they're filming Deadwood or Sopranos. It's Home and Garden Television, for God's sake.
Yeah, I'm sorry. They just catch me at bad times. Hey, it's still cable.
Yeah, well, look at the bright side. They're documenting the building of our dream home.
Documenting indeed. This construction crew wants to know the meaning of endless? Wait until they have to endure protracted litigation. Look at this. Look at this over here. Tell me, what does that say?
Derek Long, Custom Home Specialist.
Custom Home Specialist. That's a PhD in fraud. You want to tell me how many times these plans have changed?
Well, of course they're going to change between the architect and the builder.
You say architect, I say unindicted co-conspirator. Look at this. This started out as a simple drawing of a sunroom on a napkin. Now, 2 floors later,
You approved every plan.
I approved this plan!
We're beyond that!
You don't know how this racket works, Madeline. I do. The architect draws up a design and sends it to the contractor. Then the contractor makes a change, sends it back to the architect. Back and forth, all the while on my clock. It reminds me of those Schwartz brothers who bought and sold the same company from each other 4 times. All the while I was holding warrants on worthless stock. You know, they even made their dog a member of the board of directors. And he held the deciding vote every time.
All right, Ben, you've got to stop. You're driving yourself crazy. You're driving me crazy. I'm sorry. Look, I know. We decided to remodel this home together. Now, I know it was my idea to go a little bit bigger, and I know that it was my idea to bring in Derek and have it filmed for a show. But I don't want you getting mad and holding this against me.
Maddie, I don't blame you. Honey, I could never blame you. Look, I know you're trying to do something here that's for us. Something for me. Look, if it wasn't for you, I would have sold this whole place off in a minute. And it would have been the best deal I had since I had those Apple computer options at 49.
Whatever the hell that means.
It means it's not about the money.
Well, you could have fooled me.
It's about you and me being happy and me being healthy and peaceful. You know what I love most about this place? The gardens. I mean, sure, they're a mess now, what with the weeds everywhere and the paths overgrown and the fountains not working. But I can restore them to their former glory. Yeah, working out in the dirt, making something beautiful, that will give me peace.
I think so, too.
I see it now. I'll put the flowering plants right over there, restore the path and cover them with a trellis. The fountains on each end will be gushing anew. The fact that we'll be TV stars in the process is just icing on the cake.
See, I knew you'd get into the spirit of things once you saw the big picture.
Well, I want this to be fun for you too.
Well, it is fun for me, as long as I'm not worried about you.
I can't wait to start working out in that garden. Oh. Looks like your TV star and his film crew are arriving. You look at them. Hey, Nicole Kidman, you're not on camera yet.
I just want to look nice.
Yeah, well, you don't see me going nuts about it.
Well, you're not in as many shots as I am. And besides, you don't care what you look like.
You're kind of starstruck with this guy, aren't you? No, admit it, you're kind of mushy over Mr. Hammer and Nail.
No. I mean, he's kind of hunky in a blue-collar sort of way. Strong masculine hands, rugged outdoor looks, a cute British accent. But he seems distant, like he was hurt once. Now all he needs is the touch of a good woman. A woman who would understand his hurt.
Yeah, well, all I want him to do is finish the job.
All right, boys, come on in for me. Danny, just swing that boom mic round for me. Yeah, Charlie, you go and set up the camera down there for me. That's good. Perfect, yeah. On me, 3, 2, 1. As you can see, we've made some great progress restoring the floorboards, which is very important since they're going to be supporting the weight of the new French limestone flooring we're going to be installing later this week. And here are our homeowners now, Ben and Madeline Wishman.
Who the f said anything about French limestone?
This is what I'm talking about.
Look,
Sorry.
guys, we'll reshoot that later when the homeowners or one of the homeowners isn't here. Hello, Madeline.
Hello, Derek.
Looking very lovely today. Especially that dress. Matches some of those paint swatches that we've been looking at, hasn't it? Hello, Ben.
Derek?
Okay, for the next shot, Ben, you stand right here for me. Camera right, my left. And Madeline, you come on here on the other side. We're going to go over some of the changes in the plans, some of the progress that we've made. There will be a few surprises, so please just respond naturally. We want to give the viewers a sense of the real you. You think you can do that for me?
Sure, Derek. I can act surprised.
Well, I already know that. Can you do that, Ben?
Yes.
Great. Okay, Charlie, start with me and then pull back to a 3 shot, okay? On me, 3, 2, 1. There have been quite a few changes since we last met with the homeowners. The first piece of news that I have comes from the Hudson Valley, where I found a cabinet maker who can restore the original kitchen cabinets, thus saving the Wishmans thousands of dollars in unnecessary cabinet work. I know that that'll make you very happy, Ben.
Yes, Derek, that's wonderful news.
Great job, Derek.
Yeah. The other news that I have also comes from the Hudson Valley, or should I say Hudson River. In the 1840s, a logging barge sunk just outside of the city of Kingston, New York. And just last year, the logs from that barge were recovered, and they make for some of the finest flooring in the world. I think they'd be just perfect for your kitchen floor.
How much is that going to cost?
Ben!
They're talking about antique logs, Madeline.
Derek, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I tried to speak to him earlier about his on-air persona, but I don't think he can help it.
No, I understand.
Just know that if he doesn't appreciate what you're doing for us, I certainly do.
Madeline, they're talking about antique logs.
Okay, I understand that you appreciate the hard work that I'm doing, and that alone encourages me through this entire project.
You just can't spring news like that on me, Derek.
Now, Ben, what I was looking for was a genuine reaction of you hearing the good news.
Yeah, well, you got that in spades.
I thought that you'd be happy about the saving on the cabinets.
I am happy. But now I have to float a bond issue to pay for my kitchen floor.
Okay, boys, we're obviously not making any progress in here. Why don't you guys go out back and do some pickup shots of the back of the house for me? Yeah, and I'll join you when the heavy equipment arrives later on, okay?
You know, I'm glad it's just the three of us here now. I'm glad they're gone, because I have some things I want to say.
What are you talking about, Ben?
You'll see. I want you two to know that I know what's going on here. Oh yeah, those hours you spend here on the work site without me around leaves you open to the wiles of guys like Derek. And once the film crew leaves, once the guys on the roof leave, it's just the two of you here alone. And the long and the short of it is I know you're screwing her.
Oh, now, Ben, come on. I hope that we would be able to discuss this like civil people.
That ship has sailed long ago. I want you to know that I'm no idiot.
Well, I wouldn't say.
I know at the end of the night, you don't think twice about slipping it to her.
Oh.
Just hand her the change order. And she doesn't know whether or not to sign it. So she signs it. And what happens? I wind up with a shipwreck as a kitchen floor.
The change orders. Bet you're talking about change orders. Well, you know, Ben, I am more than happy to put in whatever review steps you feel are necessary during construction.
And I promise not to sign anything without showing it to you first.
Okay. I don't want to be the bad guy here. You know, I don't want to have to review every step every single day, not be able to trust anybody involved.
Okay, moving on. Why don't we talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing today? A little bit later on, the bulldozer and the loader should be arriving.
What the hell is that for?
Well, just to take out the garden in the back.
What?
Well, yeah. We're going to level it this afternoon, and then tomorrow the cement mixers and the pipes are going to arrive. We're going to lay the new back deck and tennis courts.
You're going to level my garden?
Yeah, every bit of it.
But I won't be able to work. I won't be able to find peace.
Ben, they're actually filming out back, so don't lean out the window, okay? You'll ruin the shot. Come on in.
My garden.
Yeah, well, Madeline already signed the change orders on that one, actually.
Oh, what about the floor? The hallway from the kitchen to the foyer.
Yeah. I'm glad that you brought that up. You know, I have this buyer in Europe who found this great French travertine limestone flooring.
French limestone?
Yeah, that's right. And he was going to send over some samples of the tiles, but it turns out he's actually just going to airship the entire floor over for us to look at.
Airship?
Yeah.
That's wonderful, Derek. I can't wait to see it.
Madeline! Madeline!
Yes, dear.
Oh! Don't!
Don't what, dear?
Madeline! If they lay that floor, have them do it for time and materials.
Whatever you say, dear. What do you think did it?
I don't know, I think it was bulldozing the back garden.
Oh, that was wonderful, but I really think it was shipping the floor from Europe. He always hated air freight charges.
Well, I did set him up with that whole, you know, floor from the bottom of the Hudson River.
Oh, that was brilliant. You're brilliant.
I know. Let's get this project started.
Darn those hunky TV show host guys. I tell you, those ladies just can't resist them, can they? We're going to find out a little bit more about your inspiration behind rebuilding the pyramid. I think I kind of have an idea of one of them, but I'm going to let you elaborate on that. Right after the break, stay tuned with Mark Cosgrove and Rebuilding the Pyramid.
Now troubles are many.
Hello, Madeline.
Hello, Derek.
Looking very lovely today. Especially that dress. Matches some of those paint swatches that we've been looking at, hasn't it? Hello, Ben.
You've just seen another clip from Rebuilding the Pyramid. I have with me Mark Cosgrove, who wrote this delightful one-act play. Tell me, Mark, what gave you the idea for this? I think I know, but I want you to tell me.
Yeah, sure. The inspiration, the point of humor, if you will, is all these shows that you see on television, you know, and if you look at probably the most famous one, This Old House, where you've got a contractor coming into people's homes, they're trying to build their dream home, and he tells the, you know, the homeowners, well, we need to redo the wiring, we need to take out this wall, and they're always so cool and calm about it. But the reality is, I mean, they're dying. I mean, sooner or later you run out of money, you run out of patience, you run out of time. You just hate being, you know, living within a construction site. But none of these emotions come to the surface in these shows. So that was the one element of the humor, the driving of it, if you will.
And then, of course, you have the wife who, I think she's getting a little bored with her married life.
Well, even though it's a one-act play, you find out soon enough that this guy needs a lot of hand-holding, a lot of taking care of, and he can go from, you know, calm to volcanic in, you know, 3 seconds, and you know, that would wear on you for a while. And I think she takes up with a contractor for no other reason than it's her own exit strategy out of this marriage.
And that's what I enjoyed about this. Each of the characters definitely had their own dynamic, and to write a character like Ben, it almost seems like you have to have that inspiration from real life to create that dialogue, that Wall Street dialogue.
Oh, sure. No, by day I'm in finance, so if nothing else, I know the language of the business. Was there, you know, someone I knew in my life that was Ben Wishman? Absolutely not, and thank God for that. But what you do find are people that are that obsessed about business, about work, and the world of Wall Street, and quite frankly, it's very insular. And what he does, and what you see in the play, is he relates everything back to his, you know, his work, his career experiences, and they're not a good fit.
My clock. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of those Schwartz brothers who bought and sold the same company from each other 4 times. All the while I was holding warrants on worthless stock. You know they even made their dog a member of the board of directors? Yeah, and he got the deciding vote every time.
Ben, you've got to stop. You're driving yourself crazy and you're driving me crazy.
What did you get in terms of reactions from the audience after seeing the play?
Well, it was interesting. The reactions varied on, you know, who brought up the comment. I had several friends of mine that were engineers and architects, and there is less than nice things said about the architects and engineers in it, but they had, you know, a whole view of it. And then, of course, it's anyone that has had a home rebuilding project, anytime they've had a contractor in their life, or more particularly multiple contractors, and they know the battle fatigue of it. So they were able to relate to the bits and pieces of it.
How did you discover Playwrights Roundtable? Obviously, this was not your first passion, but it was a part of your...
It goes back to a very good friend of mine who's involved in local theater, Bob DeCerbo. And he knows that, in fact, I've got a full-length play I'm trying to get into production. And he said, you know, you got to take a look at this. And he gave me like an email on Playwrights Roundtable. I joined, and then in turn I submitted last summer. And fortunately had one of my plays performed, and I wrote it with Bob, and we basically did it together. And that's what kicked it off. And then I wrote this one on my own, and I've got another one coming down the pike, another small one that I'm going to do with a friend.
And we all have our day jobs, but we also got our side passion. When did you know you had the passion for playwriting?
I was actually a junior in college. I went to undergrad in New York, and was not an English major, and the English department had an annual competition, and I entered. And I ended up winning, so it got performed, and later on it got published, and I got an award for it by the state. So that's how it started. So that's how I knew that I could write something like this, and that was a full-length play. And, you know, I had a sense for the audience, and I had a sense of the stage. But a lot of it came from reading plays, too, and knowing how, you know, just structurally how to do them.
Now, you didn't follow the process all the way through. We talked about that you wrote it, and then you separated yourself from it, and then you saw it on the stage.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. And I actually like doing that. I think that the playwright needs to write it. And then you need to put it in the hand of, you know, hopefully a good and trusting director, who in turn gets, you know, a good cast. And I have to tell you, I was very fortunate. Actually, I've had all good experience, but this case in particular, Bob, as our director, did a terrific job of putting together this ensemble. The actor that plays Ben Wishman, for example, was absolutely terrific. I mean, the voice, the mannerisms, it helps the fact he's got a bit of New York accent because he's from downstate New York. Michelle is, you know, Madeline, the wife. She was, you know, perfect, and in terms of appearance and even how she, you know, behaved. And the actors really bring these characters to life. John, I'll tell you the curveball of sorts. I never imagined Derek as being British, and I didn't find that out until literally I walked in the door of the theater. And he added something to it that I never could imagine as a writer. And that's the success of a production, when you got a director and actors that make it something even better than you imagined.
What's that experience like for you, sitting down in the theater for the first time, seeing your work on the stage?
It's agonizing. It's absolutely horrible, especially when you're doing comedy, because unless it's done exactly right, the line goes dead, and then it moves on, and the audience may not know it, but as the writer, you know it. You know, it's always, I literally anguish. My wife is with me. I have my own program to choose. She has one that, you know, we get to keep. You know, in this case, I went to the opening night, and they were prepared, they were sharp, and especially when you deal with comedy, they got it. And that's the main thing, and that takes a little bit of work to do that.
Madeline, if they lay that floor, have them do it for time and materials.
What are some of the opportunities or challenges between the two different genres? You've got this 10-minute hit it and quit it, and then you've got a full-length play where the audience can really sit and absorb a full story. Is there one format that you like best, or can you contrast?
Oh, no. I mean, it varies to the story, but what's unique about the Playwrights Roundtable, what we're doing, you know, they're giving you, I mean, they tell you 15, but they're really looking like 10 to 15, shorter the better. And you got to build within a structure. So all of a sudden, you've got to make these characters three-dimensional. You've got to make them three-dimensional, and the story just needs to move. And I think that's the difference between a play that's successful and not. If you're going to succeed in this format, it's got to move. You've got to have characters that the audience is instantly going to be able to relate to and you know, see and know who they are. And in terms of the story, it's got to be that quick. In terms of a full-length play, you've got you have the ability to paint on a larger canvas. Multiple actors, multiple scenes, change moods completely. You're right. You have the luxury of time and space and multiple characters, but there's really something unique about the one-act play. I find it to be tremendously challenging, and it's no less challenging than a full-length play, believe it or not, just because of the structure you've got to fit it into.
Oh, that was brilliant! You're brilliant!
I know. Let's get this project started.
Mark, thank you again for joining me on Playwrights Roundtable, sharing Rebuilding the Pyramid with us. I wish you all the best with your full-length comedy.
Thank you.
But of course, I'd like to see a few more shorts too. I think you've got a knack for the shorts as well.
I'd like to be able to provide them for you.
All right then. And if you would like to know more about how you can submit your works to Playwrights Roundtable or become a member, stay tuned to the end of the program where I will give you that information. Until next time, we'll see you again soon. Take care. Playwrights Roundtable provides opportunities for authors to have their work read by professional actors. Members of Playwrights Roundtable have seen their works go from cold readings to workshop productions and on to successful full productions. If you love the craft, Playwrights Roundtable is the place. For more information, contact Playwrights Roundtable at 407-788-8468 or check out the website www.playwrightsroundtable.org.